morning, Chaverim. Likoutey Moharan Zayin, Tinyana, Ot Yud. The tzaddik, what we said, is involved in giving dat, and the dat that he gives is Prinat Aye, Prinat Machamita, Prinat Mlokol Haaretz. In other words, we need to keep you moving. We need to keep you in check. We need to give you the experience of the existence of Hashem. And the tzaddik, if you're connected to him, and you give over yourself to him, and you let him work with you, he'll never force you. But if you do put yourself in the hands of the tzaddik and follow the ways of the tzaddik, so he's going to be dealing with you in a way that's called Kol Bashamayim Uva'aretz. The tzaddik is working with Shamayim and Aretz. Shamayim is when you're doing good, you're doing great, you're up there, you're moving. And Aretz is when you're down in your luck, you're in the mud, you're stuck. When you're moving well, the tzaddik tells you you haven't started yet, in order to get you to do a little bit better. And when you're down, he tells you you're doing great, Hashem is with you, and even the smallest mitzvah, Resh Pei Bet, even the smallest mitzvah is wonderful and can revive you. Hashem is with you even in the Avirah, don't give up. And the tzaddik does this in general for great people, in general for lower people, but he does it to all people in different times. He interchanges the dat that he gives you. Once he'll give you this, once he'll give you that. And because you sometimes are up and sometimes you're down. So the tzaddik will know what to give you, when to give you. And that's called Al Yedei Ot Yud Klaliyut Ben V'Talmid. When you are mikusho to the tzaddik, who is working with the Ben and Talmid. Ben is a higher level. The student is a lower level. He's working with you. He's kolel di anamot. We said before, he's kolel, he's connecting both. When you're involved with that tzaddik, and you're connected with that tzaddik who's helping you move from either picking you up or putting you down, adidezeh, mishu ish chayim, like we said yesterday. Somebody who has a little bit of authority. Eno efer, c'est pas un misken, c'est pas un poisseur. Shukurin roi mazel. He's not a loser. Hu yachon likabel bet achila he'arat haratzon. When eating, he's able to get what's called illuminated ratzon. He's going to get this light shining on him, that is shining on him the highest part of his soul, which is from Keter, which is desire. And what does that mean? Vishtokek bet achila, dainu, sha'ir lo haratzon bet achila. When eating, you have a tremendous desire. We'll turn on that button. We'll turn up that knob of desire. Elava idbarach beratzon muflag. You'll want Hashem with a tremendously great ratzon b'rishum yediyah, without any mixture of knowledge. Shelo yeda klan mahu rotzeh, to the point where you don't know what you want. We explained yesterday that some people want to serve Hashem, but for themselves, and that's good. It's not as good. It's better than wanting this world. If I want to know who you are, tell me what you want. What do you want? If you don't want anything, that's a problem. That's a depressed person. Many times people come speak to me. What in the world am I supposed to say to them? I tell them, let's talk about what you want. Who are you? What do you desire? What do you aspire to? Many times you're going to get to a place where a person would like something, but he just doesn't believe in himself. So why don't you believe in yourself? But let's get to your desire. Let's get to what you want. And many times a person doesn't know what he wants. Well, he has to figure out what he wants. To know what you want is already a good step. It's already a good thing. But then you have people that want the wrong things. They want money. They want women. They want honor. It's foolish. It's like a kid. There's much higher things. We can't blame a lot of people like that because they don't know there's anything greater. But if you know there's something greater, so why would you want that? Well, if you know that there's the next world, why would you want this world? Rabbeinu speaks about a person that has a lot of money, and then he comes close to the tzaddik and he loses his money. He says, Mashan, what is it like? The soul is working, even though the person doesn't realize. The soul, it's like a person walking by, he's carrying a lot of copper. Copper is worth something, right? It's worth something. Then he sees gold. Huh?
Today, yeah.
Then he sees gold. So he's going to throw away the copper. Why are you throwing a copper? It's worth money. He says, because I can fill in my bag with gold. I'd rather fill it with diamonds. Diamonds is more expensive than gold?
No, not today.
Gold? So I'd rather fill it with gold.
Gold is king.
I'd rather fill it with gold, so I'm going to empty up. So the same thing. A person could have a lot of worldly possessions. Once he sees the light of the tzaddik, subconsciously, the choice will be made on the spiritual level. I don't want any more of this world, I want the tzaddik. And the world sometimes is going to hold you back from the tzaddik. So the soul will actually make a conscious choice without telling the nefesh of the person. The live waking person will say, no, I'd rather keep the money, but the soul is overpowering. Says, put away the money, and I'm going to go for the tzaddik. That's why I say people come to Breslev, and sometimes the bank account goes down. Sometimes the opposite. Sometimes the tzaddik sees you need money, and we see bracha coming. Don't, the same way, zeh yashpid v'zeh yarim. Don't try to figure it out. The tzaddik knows what's good for you. The same way he knows when to pick you up and to put you down, and to put you down or to put you up, he knows what financial status you need as well. If you need to go with nice clothes, you need to go with clothes in the opposite. The tzaddik will work with you. People are scared of Breslev. There was one chassid of Rabbeinu. He said, listen, Rebbe, you're a Rebbe of Olam Haba, and I want Olam Hazeh. And he left Rabbeinu. He was close. He was the one that got Rav Nosson close to Rabbeinu. At the end, he realized Rabbeinu is it's not a Rebbe of Olam Hazeh giving brachas for parnasa. Like we said, that you can get the bracha parnasa if it's good for you spiritually. But either way, the tzaddik sometimes, the soul will let go of everything. He will let go of everything in order to go to get the tzaddik. So there is a desire of olam hazeh, which is a foolish desire, when you realize that there's a next world to get. And the next world to get is much better. But even wanting the next world is still wanting for you. Then there's a higher level of just wanting Hashem Himself. Do you want to learn the Gemara because you're going to get the next world? So that means it's hard to learn the Gemara. I don't like it. But I'm willing to commit and come and sit in this year because I know next I'm going to get Olam Haba. So it's willing to make an effort now to get something. I'm willing to go to the gym now, even though it's hard to go to the gym and I don't like it, but I know I'm going to lose a few pounds, I'm going to feel better. So I'm willing to do something difficult now. You're willing to take a medicine now, it's bitter, but I'm going to get something good later from it. So many times we see that on Divrei Rabbeinu, the person is allowed to, would be willing to do those things. There's a higher level where the mitzvah is the Olam Haba. The understanding of what Hashem wants is the Olam Haba. This Chazal, this Gemara we just learned, this Rav Yosef, this Machloket, and the Shrita, that's Gan Eden. I know that Hashem. So some people don't want the reward for the mitzvah, they want the mitzvah. Sra mitzvah, mitzvah. Rabbeinu says in Torah, hey, the reward of the mitzvah is the mitzvah itself. Do you want reward for putting tefillin, or is putting tefillin the reward? I want another time to be able to put tefillin. The only reward we can give to that person is another mitzvah. Because the only thing that equates, that will be able to pay you for the mitzvah you did, is to give you another mitzvah, because we can't have a reward in this world. Imagine Rabbeinu would be here. Baal Shem Tov's here. Imagine Mashiach is here. And we're looking for a driver. We're looking for somebody to host him. So you open up your house and you host the Baba Sal. Baba Sal is here and you get to host him. Rav is here, you get to host him. Now the Gabbais come and you paid them, you paid for Shabbos, it cost you $5,000, and you rented the nice car and you drove it for a week and you didn't work for a week. And then, would you come afterwards to say, Gabbai, okay, here's the bill. You owe me $5,000 for Shabbos, $2,000 for the car, 1 week off I was out of work, so you're going to give me $10,000, so the bill's $20,000. Would you do that? You wouldn't do that. You would say and if they come to give you a check at the end, you say, 1 second, the reward was that I spent the week with the Baba Saleh. That's my reward. I'm willing to pay for that. So how do we look at Avodat Hashem? Is it to get a reward, or is it the reward? That's called Ratzon Vichsof Me'od Elav Yitbarach B'Rishum Yediyah Shelo Yedaklan Ma Hu Rotzeh. I just want Hashem. Don't want Olam Hazeh, don't want Olam Haba, I want Hashem. What's amazing here is that you can get this. You can get this in Shat Achila. Zeh bichinat Ata noten lehem dochlam be'ito. Now Rabbeinu is going to prove this in Psukim, and we're going to get some idea what this means. The pasuk says, Ata noten lehem et ochlam be'ito. Simple pshat is you give to the whole world the food when they need it. We give you everything in the right time. It's bitachon. We don't let you store up a kitchen. We don't store up your fridge. We don't store you up with things for eternity and you just take it out. You always got to get things rot, you got to get a new one. We give you what you need when you need it. But Rabbeinu is saying, B'ito ze bichinat he'erat haratzon. Ito is this concept of great desire, a he'ara. Meaning, what is a he'ara? We're flashing a light from somewhere else. You're getting from the sun, a light from the sun. It's not the sun, the light that we're experiencing now. It's from the sun, it's he'ara. The real great retzonot in this level will be after 120, you're going to see. But even in this world, you can start to feel a little bit that illumination of the ratzon that will be for Hashem after 120. You can get that when you're eating. B'ito, how do we know? B'ito is he'arat haratzon. How come? The Gemara Pasuk says, Ka'et yamer li'akpchinat. Ka'et yamer li'akov l'Yisrael ma pa'an kel. This is a Pasuk that Bilam said. Bilam, when prophesizing and saying his nivuah and giving his brachas to Am Yisrael, he said, Ka'et, there will be a moment. Yamer li'Yakov. We will ask Yaakov, we will ask Am Yisrael, U'Yisrael, ma pa'an kel. Yaakov is always a higher level, Yisrael is always in a lower level. All of Am Yisrael will be on this level. Ben and Talmud. They're all going to be where? What did Hashem do? What is Hashem doing? Ma pa'an kel. What does that mean? Kamo shamu rabotenu zal. The Yerushalmi says, Atidin tzadikim shem mechitzatan nifnim mimalachei hashavet. The Gemara Yerushalmi in Shabbat Perik Bet, which Rashi brings on a pasuk there in Parashat Barak, on this pasuk that the pasuk says, in that moment they will ask Israel, what is Hashem doing? That in the future, the next world, the tzadikim, their mechitzah, their proximity will be closer to Hashem, to the Shekhinah, than the angels. Today, who's closer to Hashem? You, an angel. You're an angel. But there will be a time where the Jew will be closer than the angel. And that's called the mechitzah. Mechitzah means a separation between here and there, but it also means you're allowed to hear, you're allowed to hear. It's like, you go to an arena. So you bought this ticket, you're here. You bought this ticket in a concert. So you have the VIP, you have the other one. So the mechitzah, the tzaddikim, will be closer to the Shekhinah than the angels. To the point where the angels are going to want to know what's happening. They're going to come to ask the Jewish soul, please explain to us what's going on with Hashem. That's where you stand. The Malachim wanted to not just create the world. The Malachim accused the world that shouldn't be created. Because the Malachim are lacking a certain knowledge, which because Hashem wanted to create the world. So all the Rashi and Rav Nosson on that. But you see that the Am Yisrael will be closer eventually to them. Will be closer. Mechitzah ze bichinat makifim. So when we say mechitzah, what's the pshat? It's a makif. Shehem ha-mechitzah shel ha-sechem. Mechitzah is a makif. Why? Because a makif is a mechitzah, a barrier in the mind, in the understanding. Meaning, what you know is pinimi, right? That's what you know. There's something which is a little bit separated from what you know. It's called a makif. There's mechitzot, mechitzot, mechitzot. It's basically, we have to open a door, open a trap door to let down another knowledge. But it's called a mechitzah. So when we say that our mechitzah will be closer than the Malachei Hasharet, Perush, our makifim will be higher makifim than the Malachei Hasharet. What we internalize will be greater than what the Malach internalizes. What makif we brought to become panimi will be greater than an angel. לעתיד יהיה מחיצות המקיפים של הצדיקים למעלה ממקיפים של מלאכי השרת. We will have greater access to understanding of God than the angel. ואז יהיה השגתם בחינת מה. Look what Rabbeinu does now. He's going to say the hasaga of then will also be ma. Not to be confused with the hasaga of the ben today, that's ma. Today we tell a great person, ma chamita ma pishpashta. There, when we remove the body, when we'll be in olam neshamot, whether it's like the Rambam or the Ramban, like we said in the Gemara here, whether it's Triyat HaMitim, or whether according to the Ramban, or it's olam neshamot, like the Rambam, if I'm not mistaken, there, it's going to be our hasaga will b'chinat ma pa'al ken. We just changed the machamita to ma pa'al ken. What did Hashem do? What did Hashem what did Hashem create? What is Hashem, what is the Hasaga? What is the knowledge that you can give us to Hashem that the angels are not privy to? וזאת ההערה של בחינת מה הוא בחינת הערת הרצון. That level, which will be after 120, that's called ma. Ma pa'an ken, and that is desire. That is, that hasaga is הערת הרצון, שהוא למעלה מן הכל. It's higher than anything. והוא מתגלה בעת האכילה. You can have access to that at the time of eating. So whatever is going to be then, which is going to be the greatest bliss, where the tzaddikim are yoshvim v'nehenim mizziv hashchina, the tzaddikim will be basking in the divine presence, that eternal bliss, which is going to be an endless influx of ratzon, of desire, of wanting Hashem. Today, what makes it that you forget about wanting Hashem is this physical body we have. We do all kinds of physical things and just weighs us down. It's a buffer. But when there's no more body, or the body is completely refined after Tchiat HaMitim, so the body is now a vehicle for the soul, and the natural expression of the soul, the desire of the soul to cleave to its creator, this infinite energy of desire, that's what we'll have then. We're going to see now that this you can tap into now. You can have an era of this. You can have a taste of this in Shat Achila. Prinat v'ata noten lehem et ochlam be'ito. When you're, so really, you have to read it like this. Be'ito daika. So in your ochen, there's ito. What is the ito? It's ka'et yamer li'akov ma pa'an ken. In that time, the angels are going to ask, Ham Yisrael, what did Hashem do? That is when our mechitzav, the sechel, is going to be higher than the angel, which is ha'erat haratzon. So the ito is that et. When Bilam said, ka'et yamer li'akov Yisrael ma pa'an ken, that et, it's in your eating. B'chinat ha'erat haratzon, shu b'chinat ma. B'chinat ka'et yamer li'Yisrael ma pa'an ken. בחינת מקיפים, שבחינת מה, שזה בחינת הערת הרצון. It's deep stuff.
Very deep. But beautiful.
But you see over here, there's a remez which we have to think about together. The ma changed to ma. So this tzaddik, we're telling him his whole life, you don't know nothing, you haven't started. We're only going to show to you after 120 years what you really have done. The Gemara speaks about Abai and Rava. It's the same Gemara that Rabbeinu brings into Torah Lamed Dalet. Whether there was Abaye and Rava and Abba Umana. You guys remember the Gemara? So, I can't remember if it was Abaye or Rava that would get a spiritual influx of Shalom Aleichem every week, Erev Shabbos. Rava would get once a year, Erev Yom Kippur. Shalom Aleichem from heaven. Abba Umana would get every day. Every day he would get. He was a doctor. So there, Rabbeinu has a whole drash that you can be a huge tzaddik even if you're, everybody has his nekuda, find your place. He was a doctor, a blood learner. Look into a lamidal if you know what that means. He was a holy person, and everybody can reach a holy level. Find yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. But there in that Gemara, which Rabbeinu brings in Sefer Amidas, he says that Rava was a little bit bothered and broken the fact that Abaye got every week. Could be making a mistake. Could be the opposite. So why Abaye and Rava are two Gedolei Ador? Why is one getting? So Rava, it says that actually his merit was protecting the whole city. We withheld the spiritual fulfillment and pleasure that he should be getting based on his avodah to give a benefit to the community. So he doesn't get maybe the Ruach HaKodesh. He doesn't get that feeling. He doesn't get that high. But he actually paid for it. He actually did the work. He put in the efforts. We don't give it to him for the community. So you see, only after 120 years, Rava will know what he did. You too. Everything you're doing that we're telling you, you haven't started, you didn't do a thing. It's you're very far. Machamita. We have to tell you that to get you moving. But after 120 years, that machamita turns into ka'et ya'amer Yaakov ma pa'an ken. So Rabbeinu says some people we don't show them what we've done until after 120 years. You were such a great tzaddik. You lived in such a hard generation. It was impossible to hold on, and you did it. You overcome superhuman tests. You had nisyonot, you grew up in a family, who knows you where you came from? You think you're so little, you're great. We don't show it to you. Machamita, we tell you here. You haven't done a thing. Why? Because we want you to move. If we'd start patting you on the back, you can stop moving. We can get much more from you. We can squeeze out more juice. At the end, the next world, the angels are going to ask you, Ma pa Hashem. The Ma turns into Ma. And this you can tap into in eating. Now we're going to start a new subject. How to eat. Because En Misichim B'Seudah. The Alchaz, you're not supposed to talk when you're eating. If you start to meditate when you're eating on these things, if you're connected to the Rebbe, you're going to start to have great levels in the time of eating. Of Kenny, when he would eat, it was an experience. It was the scariest thing. There was a pachad of being when he would eat. I promise you. I know people did tshuva at Itzik. We once brought Itzik to Muncie. He said just by watching him eat the soup, did tshuva. The way he would eat, there was no talking. It was maybe at the end there would be a shmooze, a talk, but in the eating it was pachad pachadim, and you could see that his ritzonot and kisufim. We'll talk about it. Chazak.